Hello, it's Nikki. How you doing? Today I want to talk more about why I changed my business model. And not to bore you with a life story or medical history or anything like that, but to give you some tools, some exercises, some big questions to think about. Because this is a really good opportunity. And I think those opportunities come up a lot for us to really reflect, where are we? What are we doing? Is it working for us? Does it feel good? Etc. etc. So, as you may have heard me talk before, at the beginning of 2023, I made a commitment to myself to do the thing, to have a go, to be bold, to move the needle significantly. And that's meant I have really worked on some daily habits, a morning routine. I've stretched myself out of my comfort zone. I've said a lot more yeses and even more nos. And I've been much bolder this year and much more strategic. Sounds a bit cold, but much more deliberate, much more discerning. I haven't just kind of let things happen. I've really been proactive and determined and driven things forward. So one of the things that I committed to doing for the first half of the year was paying attention. And this is so crucial at all times in business, but when things are great and when things are just, hopping along or bobbing along, and these people who just say, I just never have to market and I just have a full book the whole time. Actually, in this day and age, I feel that is less and less. I feel that nobody can really rest on their laurels anymore. You have to keep looking after customers, looking after people, selling stuff that is really of a great high quality. And so even if you have been one of those businesses, and I've been really lucky over the last 10 years, worked really hard. I've always had a very consistent stream of clients and opportunities, etc. But having met that 10-year anniversary, so I had been coaching for 10 years on May the 1st. That's when I became qualified, and that's when I sort of have my business anniversary. I decided to make some big decisions, and I made some big decisions because my life was requiring some big decisions. And when I talk about my life, I'm really going into how I want to feel, the structure of my week, how I want things to flow, where I want to put my energy, how I want to spend my time, etc. And here are some things that I came up with. And what I would love you to do is to take these ideas and maybe take them to a journal or a notebook or take them on a walk and think about, what does this mean for me? And if it does resonate, what does that therefore mean? What do you need to do next? So the first question I had was, could I do this better? And that was quite an open-ended question to begin with. That was talking about life and business. And I looked at all areas of my life. Could I do this better? Is there a higher level that feels within reach that I'm not quite meeting yet? What does this mean? What is going on right here, right now? And secondly, am I going to give myself the permission to step into that next version of myself? Again, you might think that is an easy yes, like, of course, I'm going to give myself permission. Of course, I want to do things at a greater level. But in order to do a greater level, it takes a different perspective. It takes work, it takes thought, it takes consideration, it takes you going out of your comfort zone, all of these things. So you might just say, well, I made the decision and off we go. But we know that for the most part, it is not the case. And this sense of permission comes up a lot for my clients. And sometimes it comes from a place of, but maybe I have enough already. Should I just be grateful for what I'm doing? In this climate, maybe I should just stay put. At this stage of my life, I don't want to rock the boat. And for me, it's not always doing things bigger and better. It's about refining. It's about almost, if you imagine a roast dinner, and everybody's roast dinner looks very different. And the other night, Matt made spuds and what did we have? Like sausages and gravy and some green veg. I think I should be able to remember. But the beauty of it was these roast potatoes. They were amazing. They were incredible. They were so good. And I said to him, I feel like you've been holding these back for a while. We haven't had these for ages. We need to have these more often. They're so brilliant. And he was saying, in the mix of a roast dinner, sometimes, he's not getting the temperature that he wants from the oven. And sometimes it all kind of blends in a little bit. But the fact that he could concentrate on these spuds within this dish, it meant that they could really fly. And I think this is a very important question to continue to ask ourselves, to keep ourselves sharp. And when we do this work, sometimes it's like, oh, do I want to ask for feedback? Because what if I don't like the feedback? What if the feedback is confronting or not what I want to hear, etc.? And so it was a really interesting analysis with myself of giving myself to do things better. And that meant stepping in to a different version of myself, which then moved into a conversation about how I felt about my business. And I always remember when I first trained as a coach, that sense of possibility and that sense of transformation and that opportunity for change, to do things better. And that situation or that circumstance that gets you that moment when you don't know if you want to laugh or cry, it just feels, you feel moved by it in some way. And that is the work that I really, really want to do with my clients, where my clients say, oh, I can now do the thing. I now know what to do. And I feel that I feel like I've opened the next door. And so what I was doing, I would say for the last 2 years, is being a bit fuzzy with my message. So I was talking in general of like creating a business that you love as the sort of, I don't know, the top line of it. And actually for me, I want to go much more into being practical, in being so useful that at the end of a session, somebody goes, I now know what to do. I'm ready to do that. I launched my website and now I've got 3 customers. That is where I want to go right here, right now with my clients, because I want to see, like, honestly, nothing pleases me more where people begin to make moves, when they build that confidence in themselves, when they start to navigate that next chapter. And I get that voice note where they go, I think I can do this. Or it's not completely there, it's 80% there, but it's on its way. Things are cooking. And I think if I'm being completely honest, a lot of my messaging for a long time was very, very vague and woolly, and it could be anything you wanted it to be. And the truth is, because I have a portfolio career, I don't want to spend my whole time selling. I don't. I want to do the work. And so knowing that was how I wanted to operate, it meant I had to use my time differently. It meant that I needed to break down my packages so they were clear. And so, this is number 3, I could move into easy yeses. So if a client inquired and they go, I don't know if you have what I need, and then they said what they were looking for, I wanted to be able to say an easy yes, absolutely, I could definitely help you with this. And equally, I wanted to be able to say, no, I don't think I'm the right person. However, I could recommend this person, and this person. Likewise, if somebody sees a piece of my content online, I want them to go, yes, 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 yes. I feel like she could help me. Yes. Okay. How much is she? What's her availability? Let's find out more, etc. Another thing I wanted to do, this is number 4. I really want to grow in lots of areas of my life. And I also want to sustain. So when you're in growth the whole time, you're not necessarily grounded. You're not in a space of being able to refuel, or it's almost like a plane. You know, if a plane was up in the air the whole time, sort of flying and doing all the rest of it, there are times when it needs to come back to the ground, to be cleaned, to be settled, to be re-looked at, to have a little sleep, to shift the pilots around, whatever it might be, change up the energy. And so I am always looking for that balance. I am somebody who's very ambitious. I want to grow and explore and change and do different things in my life. But yet I want to have that sustainability. I want to have that lovely income coming in every single month. So how do I do that? How do I balance it? Well, I become that's a really good question to myself. So that's why I'm having much more of a simple business model. So I can be sustainable, and I can be in that sense where people know what they're getting, and then I can grow in other areas of my life. I want to do more speaking. I want to upgrade the quality of the podcast. I want to bring in more guests. I want to create more free content. I want to invest some money in my business. I want to work from different places. I want to welcome a new membership into my business. There are lots of things that I want to do. And so whilst I've got one eye on growth, I need to personally keep the other stuff quite solid and reliable and sustainable and an easy yes. It's almost like that night before you go on holiday, you might have a takeaway that night, because you're like, even just to fill the fridge and get stuff, like we don't want to be doing that right now. We want it simple, because tomorrow we are flying, we are doing something different. Number 5, I always take this question whenever I am in a limbo place or in a process of decision making. Where do I want to be a year from now? And what will happen if I do this thing? And what will happen if I don't do this thing? And then I do it for the other side. What will happen if I move forward with this thing? And what will happen if I don't? And this is really crucial for me, because otherwise, if I'm not being deliberate, I could end up building the wrong path or making moves in a direction where a year from now I go, I feel like I've worked really hard, but I've actually built something that I didn't mean to. And this is very important for you to think about. A year from now, so July 2024, that sounds wild, doesn't it? July 2024, where do you want to be? What do you want to feel? What do you want to have? What changes do you want to make in your life? Where will your family be up to? What will have changed? What will your circumstances be? How will they be different? And I realized that if I wanted to completely have a open closed launching situation in terms of my business model, not an evergreen, which is where I want to go. I want to be an evergreen business so people can join as and when they're ready. I realized that I would have to get a bigger team. I would be managing people. I would have to invest in a lot of ads and things like that. And because I've got other income streams and other, I guess, projects in my life, I don't want to do that. And also, when I was looking at some other coaches who just do coaching, I don't want to do that either. And so, again, I was coming back to how can I be most useful? And so I want to ask you the same question. Where do you want to be a year from now? What is cooking? And why are you not taking action? This was the final question that I had to take. Why was I not taking action? Why was I not stepping into this next version of myself? And when you keep asking that question of why, and almost being quite relentless with yourself, why, you start to peel back the layers of this onion where you get suddenly to that center and you go, oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. Oh, interesting. And it can, again, feel very confronting when you do that. But once you have it, you can't unsee it. And it feels so good because then that's when you get back to the heart of it. And my heart of coaching was always to help people get what they need and what they want, and to do it in a way that filled them up and it also filled me up, and to have it as part of my portfolio career. My aim was never to say, right, I'm going to close down everything else and just do this, because actually that doesn't really suit my brain. It wouldn't fulfill all of my passions. It's like those moments where people say, but you have to have just one friend or one person in your life. Well, I don't want to. I want to have different people in my life. Or if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, you can see a theme here. I don't want to. I want to eat all the things, all the different cuisines. My son, who's 7, is really into favorites at the moment. Like, what's your favorite food, mummy? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite country in the world? I'm like, well, it depends on the weather, the time of year, how I'm feeling, what I want, what I need, etc. Talk to me about your business plan going forward. Talk to me about the next chapter of your business and life. Where are you going? What do you need? What are the gaps? What is going on? A couple of places you can go next. You can go and do my Jam and Plan course. It's 4 hours and it will give you that beautiful 360-degree look into your business where you go, oh, right. Oh, that's what's going on. Right. Okay. I'm going to do this. Okay, right, next. You'll have that understanding rather than feeling like you're constantly reinventing it or making it up as you go along. Or if you want to do some work one-on-one, go to All About the Next Chapter. This will be about goal setting, mapping it out, creating a strategy for your business and your life, what is next for you, and building some great plans. I used to love being spontaneous. If my pal phoned me and was like, do you want to go to Brighton this weekend? Yeah, absolutely. Or should we do this? Or let's book tickets. Or I've got tickets. Like, can you come in half an hour? I used to love that. But now I don't necessarily have that flexibility because I've got small children. And also I get tired. I get tired in the evenings. So I have to be strategic. I have to plan ahead. I have to think about what I want. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. So what do you want? Where are you going next? What's exciting for you? Tell me. Go to the freebies house and have a look in the different freebies rooms within there. And also, if you're ready to rock and roll, book a session with me. Book the All About Your Next Chapter session with me, and we can do this work. But also, you can go to the Work With Me page. There's lots of different types of strategy sessions. So whether you want to work on your money or your online presence or your speaking, there is something for you. Somebody has now started drilling, so I'm going to leave it there. But thank you so much for watching, for listening, and I'll see you very soon.